Men, in this video I'm going to really try and challenge the way you currently think about injuries, because I genuinely believe that injuries are not doom and gloom, and there is a simple process in order to get you back to where you need to be. My promise to you, if you give this video your full attention and have a completely open mind and try and rid yourself of all previous history of what your family have said, what your friends have said, and what people have taught you and what you've read on the internet, if you can just give this video your open mind, literally for about 10 minutes, I hope to achieve my goal of that, or even just one of yours. You know, that is my goal, to maybe change the way maybe one of yours think, in order to really have some positive effects on your health, especially with regards to injuries. So, yeah, my promise to you is I'm going to deliver some stuff, you absorb it, and hopefully it just changes something in your mind with regards to injuries. Why is this important? You may think. Injuries are often a very profitable means of potentially big pharmaceutical companies and surgeons to send you down loads of rabbit holes. And if I can just do a video for 10 minutes on here, which is completely free, save yourself thousands of pounds, absolutely over the moon. That means you are more fit, healthy, and who knows, maybe you buy my program one day. Who the hell am I? My name is Paul Green and I'm an online coach. I run the longevity program. I'm a former British paratrooper and special forces support group operator. Over the past decade, I have trained thousands of elite men across defence, including those that serve in the RAF, the Royal Marines and the Parachute Regiment. I have seen a wide range of body in front of me. Some of them injured, some of them not injured, some of them fit, some of them fat. I've seen a wide range of individuals. I've seen a load of different injuries, and I've worked closely with some of the best physiotherapists and exercise rehab instructors when serving at the Royal Military Academy, Sandhurst. And the same things keep cropping up. The template that the top physios in the world use to diagnose and treat your injuries, regardless of where it is in the body, is the same throughout. They just diagnose and assess your injury, predict what your injury might be, give you this template, and then send you on your merry way. If it doesn't work, whatever. Anyway, I'll get further into that later on. Hopefully, my experience provides a little bit more weight than your average lunatic on the internet. That's why you should listen. Get yourself comfortable. I reckon 5 minutes. So the plan. What is an injury? I'm going to Google that. I'll get the definition. The normal process, which I've just touched on. Solutions to the normal process, and job done. Every so often, this is here at the bottom, logic versus emotion. I challenge you to be completely logical when you are watching these lectures. It's very hard, especially when injuries, pain. Some of you will be watching this with an injury right now, and you're probably thinking, who the hell is this wanker talking about injuries? Who the hell is he? What's his qualifications? Is he a doctor? Blah, blah, blah. I'm just a person that has experienced a lot of people that have had a lot of injuries in front of me, and I've worked closely with some of the specialists over my time, and I'm very fortunate for that. Anyway, enough about my life story. If you want to know that, then jump on a call with me. We'll have a talk about that. So this is it. It's a lecture about injuries and what the current process is, and can a change in philosophy potentially serve you extremely well? I think so. So, rapid. What is your definition of injury? So, duck, duck, go. Extremely private. Tinfoil hat. Fully on. Damage or harm done to or suffered by a person or thing. A particular form of hurt. Great song by Johnny Cash. Damage or loss. Obviously, we're talking about the body here. In particular, musculoskeletal injuries. Injuries to the joints. I'm not necessarily bothered about injuries internal. I'm not very good at that type of thing. But injuries to the joints, to the muscles, to the surrounding structures, on the skeleton. Musculoskeletal injuries. And we've got a legal one here. Injuries are physiological damage to the living tissue of any organism. Okay, whether in humans or any other animals. Awesome. talking specifically about musculoskeletal injuries in this video, which is the ones that are causing you the most damage and causing you to enter a lot of rabbit holes, which we'll talk about shortly. So there's the definition. Normal process. You get injured. You fucking instantly fuming. You stop training. You can't train for a week or 2 or 3 weeks. Plus, this is dependent on the severity of the injury. You'll probably go straight to the pharmacist and you will get anti-inflammatories and painkillers to rid you of the pain in the area, and anti-inflammatories to reduce the inflammation. Both of which will reduce the pain. Reducing the inflammation will reduce the nutrients and the restorative benefits that the body actually provides. So anti-inflammatory will reduce your body's ability to rehabilitate at them early stages. This is not a complete disrespect on the normal process. I'm just going to kind of dip in a little bit, hopefully get to the end of the process. After that, you are going to go to the doctors. You get an assessment of the doctor. A doctor is a general practitioner of the body. They don't have a clue about injuries, to be honest with you. So the doctor will give you probably some more tablets or sell you some more tablets. Again, a little bit of this. And then a couple of weeks later, they may refer you on to a physiotherapist. Physiotherapist, another assessment from you. They will do a little bit of witchcraft on you, move your joints in a certain way, and kind of give you an estimate or a guesstimate on what this injury is. They can't definitely give you an accurate estimate without seeing a CT scan or an MRI scan, again. But they can give you kind of a good estimate. Physios are general practitioners of injuries, I like to call them. However, they probably disagree with that. They're probably a lot more than that, but I like to call them GPs of injuries. They know a little bit about every injury in the body, and they know a little bit about the muscles, just like me. So they will give you their assessment, they will send you away, and they will give you a certain set of exercises to build up the strength of the surrounding structures of that injury, that area. Which is good, because more often than not, if you follow these exercises, this will actually help the area. But the problem is, people don't follow the exercises that they are given, and also the exercises aren't explained very well, and they don't give you much motivation, much goals to actually achieve. They just say, there's a resistance band, do this 5 times a day, and send you on your way, and you're instantly bored. You're bored straight away. So if you were to jump on the longevity program, some of the athletes on there will actually tell you, I have my wicked and weird ways of making the post-injury pathway actually enjoyable, entertaining and fun. Getting strong should be fun, regardless of your start point. Now, if your start point is, I can't move my knee because it's in pain, that is completely fine. Your start point is no different to somebody that's 65-year-old. Anyway, this isn't a sales pitch on the longevity program. I'm just going to say that my philosophy is making it fun in order to make you more consistent with the implementation of very valuable training sessions. Back to the physio's prescription. Usually, you go back to the physio a few months later. All right, mate, this just doesn't work. My knee's still hurting. The physio looks at you and goes, probably haven't been doing the exercises, but whatever. What will the physio do then? The physio will then direct you to a surgeon or whatever they're called. There's a few different names for surgeons nowadays, but the surgeon will give you their assessment. What is a surgeon? A surgeon is a specialist of a certain joint. Right? A surgeon is a salesman with a scalpel in his hand. Right? He's going to look at your knee, right? And he's going to go, you probably get a scan, and they're going to look at the X-ray, and they're going to go, oh yeah, we can trim that, we can do this, we can do that, we can poke in there, and we can do a little bit of that. They'll give you loads of fancy terminology. Next thing, you get in surgery, and they'll give you all the assurances that it's going to be great, it's going to be absolutely awesome, you're going to feel better after it. Yeah, reasonable function of the joint is going to be restored, and then you are, you're on your way. So if a couple of months passes by, you go back, you get your surgery, job done. In this process, right, you've got the doctors that have sold you some tablets, you've got the physios that have sold you a few sessions of physio. Physios made a little bit of money. Physios sent you off with a little bit of a training program to go and do some exercises, which probably could have helped the area if they were explained better and if they were programmed better. And then the surgeon has went, well, hey, we've got another idiot through the door who's gotten really not much wrong with his knee, but we could poke around in there and give him a little bit of keel and charge him $2,500. Why would a surgeon not give you a procedure? It's the easiest money he'll ever make in his life. Now, there's no doubt there is something wrong with your knees. Like, there's no doubt there's something wrong with your joints. Guaranteed, most people that go in for a CT scan or an X-ray, one of these surgeons, these surgeons are going to find something wrong with any of these scans. Look, I'm not tinfoil hat man who's completely disrespecting the medical industry, the pharmaceutical industry. I'm just going to be very sceptical on this approach. You get your surgery, you're off on your way, and then you go live your life normally, and you've had your surgery, whatever. There's still a lot of issues within that process. Anyway, gentlemen, if you like this content, I deliver it every day. Lectures, sometimes it's just me, just my handsome face in front of the camera, delivering physical training, education videos to men over 40, very packaged, nice and neatly to men over 40. Yeah, do subscribe if you like it. If not, you'll probably see me again tomorrow anyway, because as I say, every day you'll see my face, you'll see my green thumbnails and my pictures of me with my army gear on, because that's my foundation, my knowledge, and I'm massively grateful for that. Like I said earlier on, this is the my laser focused online coaching service, focused around men over 40. If you're a woman and you're 36, see you in a bit. I genuinely am only interested in men over 40. The reason being is that when we get to about the age of 40, our type 2B muscle fibres start to slowly degenerate, and those are the ones responsible for power, speed and strength. Typically, men make the shift towards endurance at around their middle ages, and I am literally thinking, men, what are you doing? If you want all these joint issues to happen, then you're going to have to start training these areas. Anyway, that's my mission on this channel, and that's my mission with my program service, one-on-one online coaching service, me as your coach. If that's something you're interested in, treat yourself. The links are in my channel. You'll find them, and we'll jump on a call and all the rest of it. Right, new way of thinking, gentlemen. Like I said earlier on, logic versus emotion. The normal process, the process that is advertised, if you're in America, the pharmaceutical industry is advertised, and it's just the normal thing to do. Like, you get sick, you go to the doctors, you get injured, you go to the doctors, you go to the physio. It's like this loop of getting looked after, or putting plasters on some serious issues with your mentality. And I will challenge you on this channel, and sometimes I'll do it in a very arrogant manner, but sometimes I'll do it from a place of good intentions, and this is one of the good intentions. So a new way of thinking, right, gentlemen? Think about that process again. You're injured, your knee's hurting, right, and you struggle getting out of bed, it's really sore, the pain's there. You're thinking about going to the pharmacist to get some painkillers to numb the area, to create a disconnect from an area of pain. You're now creating a disconnect with your injury. I'm going to take it back a step, actually. Something has just happened to your body, right? A new way of thinking. Something has just happened to your body in which your body's went, oh, that is outside of what my body can cope with. And you've become in pain as a result of that. Whatever that might be. You could have sneezed and popped your rib. For whatever reason, your body's decided to say, whoa, I'm not strong enough to cope with that demand. Pain, inflammation. Pain is because your body is saying, look, mate, leave this alone for a while. Give it a bit of a breather. The inflammation is a means where your body opens up blood vessels around that surrounding area in order to get more nutrients to that area, in order to repair it quicker. But the double-edged sword of inflammation is inflammation causes pain and soreness. Now, anti-inflammatory prescription or tablets or whatever, they will reduce the swelling, which reduces the pain, but it actually reduces the amount of nutrients that go to the area. Do you see that? Do you see the predicament that you find yourselves in? So you go to my recommendation, my new way of thinking. And this is probably going to be like, you're probably going to turn the video off now, but honestly, this is a challenge, by the way. This slide is a challenge. A new way of thinking. So if one specific moment in your day, or one specific moment within your training, or one specific moment in you changing direction, instead of walking down the stairs, you've changed direction, you've wobbled your ankle. There has been a specific situation which you can remember. And I want you to remember it very, very well. I want you to really think about this situation, because this situation is going to plan your training for the next few weeks. Something has happened which has said, mate, I'm not strong enough to do that. For whatever reason, I'm not strong enough to do that millisecond movement. Please train me. I'm not strong enough to do that movement which you've just done to me. For whatever reason, please train me. I'm just going to refer back to the previous one of you creating a disconnect. So you've got this exact moment in your head. You know exactly what movement and how the injury occurred. You start to forget how the injury occurred when you put painkillers on them, numb the area. You add anti-inflammatories, which reduce the amount of nutrients that go to the area. Right, so I'm going to get on to the next stage. Before I start emphasising the point too much, you start falling asleep on me. So you think about what happened, and then you think, well, how the hell can I strengthen an area that is sore? I'm going to tell you. There is a type of muscle contraction called an isometric muscle contraction. And an isometric muscle contraction is when your muscle stays contracted and active, but it remains at the same length. So think about a plank or something like that. If you're in a plank position and your core and your torso, your spine is absolutely still, your abdominal muscles will be isometrically contracting. Or think of if you picked up a bag. If you pick up a heavy bag of shopping and you're walking down the shopping aisles and you're holding the bag down by your side with a straight arm, your arm muscles and your abdominal muscles will be isometrically contracting. They'll be active, but there'll be no change of angle at the joint. Just bear with me, right? With this. That's about as technical as I'm going to get. Isometric muscle contractions. Do isometric muscle contractions on the specific area which you got injured, right? And I know this is going to blow your mind. You're going to be thinking, yeah, but rest. The doctor said, prescribe medication, rest it, ice it, elevate it, and then, right, think about the disconnect that causes to you, your brain, and the injured area, the disconnect that happens with prescribed medication, rest. Nah, we need to get strong. We need to get strong quickly, really quickly. Men, I hope you understand the importance of what I'm saying, and hopefully it resonates with you, because this is absolutely game-changing stuff. This is how I've got people that have been injured to being back to full fitness within a couple of months, and so many different injuries as well, especially the knee and the elbow injuries and ankle as well. People will rest. If you think about what actually happens when you rest. So we've got prescribed medication, which is painkillers and anti-inflammatories, which don't do anything other than reduce pain and reduce the amount of nutrients. Doesn't do anything for improving the injury. It just improves, it numbs the signal, so you actually feel like the injury's getting better. But if you think about it, have you got stronger? You've rested. Are you getting stronger from rest? No. You're not getting stronger. You're actually getting weaker. So, in my eyes, in my opinion, when you get injured, the first thing on your mind should be getting that area stronger. Now, of course, right, it's weak, it's in pain, but you can still find a way to strengthen it, right? I'm going to give you an example of me, right? So I do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and about 6 months ago, maybe even a year ago, I done a rolling back take, which is like a fancy move to get on somebody's back, and basically, I ended up with my sparring partner, my training partner, a lot of his body weight going through the outside of my ankle. And what that did is it created a lot of tension on the outside of my knee. My knee, the outside of my knee cracked a little bit, right? So then I'm thinking, all of this stuff, I'm thinking, right, how can I isometrically load the outside of my knee? So you know yoga pose, the pigeon pose. So I'm trying, like this, literally, a couple of days after this injury, I'm trying to get myself into the pigeon pose. And it's painful. But how do I make a pigeon pose easier? Because if I was in a pigeon pose, the outside of my knee would be sore. How do I make the pigeon pose easier? Because I'm actually in pain in this position. I need to make it easier. So for example, what I do is I put pillows underneath my knee. So my knee wasn't flat. And my knee, there's my knee, there's my ankle. That wasn't flat. To start with, my knee was like really high up. And what I was doing is I was just pulsing down a little bit. So I was working the outside of my knee. I was trying to get some blood and nutrients there. I wasn't taking painkillers, I wasn't taking anti-inflammatories, because honestly they're absolute garbage. You should never take them. If anything, you want to take stuff that gets more. There's two ways of looking at it, right? You've got cold therapy and you've got heat therapy. I'll go into one in a different video. It'll probably be next Tuesday when I do injuries. Yeah, injuries are on Tuesday. Anyway, so we have isometrically loading the area. Then I want you to find out how to eccentrically load the area. If you don't know this, right? If you don't know how to do these things, just Google them. You'll find out. So let's say, for example, you've twisted your ankle. How do I eccentrically load the outside of my ankle? Honestly, the answers will be there. You'll have a bunch of different exercises. And then so you start off with isometrically load the ankle, then you've got eccentrically load the ankle. After you have loaded your joint through a full range of motion, isometrically, you'll be pain-free. Honestly, it's like you will be pain-free. Another example, right? I was saying to my mate about 4 years ago, I was like, bestie, if he's watching he'll laugh, bestie, my tendons, right? Patella tendon underneath the kneecap. I was like, he's one of the best exercise rehab instructors in the British Army. He's like one of the best exercise rehab instructors in the world. Worked with thousands of people, got them over all these basic injuries. And just any injury, you just go to him and he just laughs about it and gives you the solution straight away. I said, my patella tendon, what do I do? He went, isometrically load the knee. And I was like, how do I do that? He said, go and sit against the wall and go down until you have pain. When you start feeling the pain, hold it for 30 seconds. Just before you start feeling the pain come on, hold it for 30 seconds. I'm like, after a couple of days, I'm able to go lower and lower and lower and lower until about 90 degrees with the knee joint. 90 degrees at the knee joint was about where my patella tendons was started to hurt. But what I've started to do there is I've started to really focus in and target on the muscles that surround the knee and the tendons and ligaments within the knee. So they're actually getting stronger. But I'm not moving, I'm not doing a squat, I'm holding the same position. He said to me, he's like, after you can hold your injured leg, your injured knee for 30 seconds, single leg chair sit at 90 degrees, he's like, you're probably ready to go into a squat. What I'm saying is it is so important that you stay connected to these issues, because you understanding fully how you got injured, that is your new goal. So people go to the gym, they're like, oh, I want to be able to bench press, 2 plates, 3 plates, whatever it might be. Your new goal is strengthening that exact area that you've just got injured. The pharmaceutical industry, their goal is to disconnect you from that injury. Because if you're disconnected, what's going to happen? 6 months or 6 years down the line, whole host of things are going to happen to that knee joint. that ankle joint, that elbow joint. Gentlemen, summary of this video is that injuries are not doom and gloom, but they can be if you disconnect from them. If you take painkillers, if you take anti-inflammatories, the recovery process will be slower because you're taking away the body's natural superpowers to actually overcome these injuries. Like I said, the best bit of advice I could give anybody with an injury, I swear to God, is isometrically load the movement. Find a way to isometrically load the exact same area in which you injured yourself. Honestly, I could make a fortune off literally telling people to do that. I could get 9 out of 10 people, I'm not lying, men, I'm not lying, I could get 9 out of 10 people pain free with just that. This point here, I could get 9 out of 10. Any man comes up to me with it, I could isometrically load their areas of concern over 4 to 6 weeks, depending on severity. Could be arthritis, really acute arthritis, could be chronic. I genuinely believe this, men, honestly. This bit of advice here is absolute gold dust. But the problem with it is, it's that good, it works that effectively, people will go from this, and then they will go back into normal shenanigans. We'll go from isometrically loading the area straight into normal craziness and earn the right to progress with isometric load in these areas. Do not work through pain. Touch pain, right? Isometrically. And then after a couple of days, you may increase the range of motion. But don't push through the pain barrier. Do you know what I mean? Don't be silly with it. But work to pain, and then you're going to get stronger in these areas. Gentlemen, I hope you understand. I hope you enjoyed the video. My intention with all this stuff is to really, really focus in on developing some weaker areas, because all an injury is, it's highlighted a weaker area. And the more you disconnect from it, the more weaker it's going to get.